Yet another daredevil adventurer has come to rob our catacombs of loot. Let's just hope you're made of tougher stuff than the last guy. If you can survive the trials of our catacombs and answer my riddle, we will give you a prize befitting your efforts. Here is my riddle. I am a vessel without hinges, lock, or lid. Yet, within my walls, a golden treasure is hid. What am I? Don't try to answer the riddle now. You'll need to save your breath to survive the trials of the catacombs.
You've managed to survive the trials of the catacombs. Now let's find out if your wits are as quick as your feet. Do you remember the riddle? I am a vessel without hinges, lock or lid. Yet within my walls a golden treasure is hid. What am I? Have you heard that one before? I never thought you'd get it. Very well, a bargain is a bargain. You may have the dragon egg that I was guarding from the sorceress. I've waited 7,000 years for someone to solve that riddle. Now I can finally head off to Seashell Shore to bury some bones. Round of the annual demolition hovercraft competition is about to begin. There is room for one more contestant, but you'll have to answer a riddle to qualify. The riddle is this. If one dragon can lay one egg in 12 years, how long would it take for 100 dragons to lay 100 eggs? Very impressive. That is correct. Good luck in the demolition hovercraft competition. That was a fierce battle indeed. Please accept this prize for winning the first round. You may now enter the championship round. However, this is an exceedingly dangerous sport. Might I suggest you quit while you're still in one piece? My, such a brave reptile you are. But you'll need much more than bravery to win the championship. You may now enter the championship. My, such a... Was indeed a battle for the ages. You're the first dragon to win the competition in over 1,000 years. I proudly present you this year's grand prize.
Those dogs with the funny hats put a curse on me just because I shot him in the butt a couple times. He said he turned my tail into a snake. Does it look like a snake to you? It does feel kind of funny, come to think of it. Oh boy, that dog's gonna bang. What are those dogs with the funny...
Behind this door lie the 5 deadly trials of King Rover. No one has ever survived all 5. In fact, it is so dangerous that I cannot let you through this first door unless you're able to solve my riddle. Here's the riddle. I follow you wherever you go, but the more of me you take, the more you leave behind. My, you're quite clever for someone with so little fashion sense. You may proceed to the first trial.